Hello, welcome to My English Coach Dave. I'm Dave. Today we will be looking at a fascinating news article that will boost your vocabulary, sharpen your listening skills and get you thinking. Now, whether you are an advanced learner or a high B2 level, this lesson will challenge you in all the right ways. Okay, let's get started. Now, first, you can see here is a PDF. This is the free PDF in the description, so please download it and follow along with the lesson. Okay, so this news article comes with a photo. Let's just look at the photo then, and guess what the article is about. Here's a woman. She looks a bit angry, I guess. She's wearing a leopard kind of patterned fur coat. She's carrying alcohol and has more alcohol in her trolley. This is cider, cheap cider, and the window has been smashed, and it says shoplifting on the window. So I imagine you can tell by now it is about shoplifting, when people steal items from shops. So let's read this then. Shoplifting is now at record levels. Here's how it went from a crime punishable by death to police turning a blind eye. Now, I always say to my students, do not learn vocabulary. Yeah, do not learn vocabulary. What do I mean by that? Instead, learn collocations. Now, collocations, you can see here, are natural combinations of words that appear together. So it helps you sound more fluent. An easy example is something like, oh, I like powerful coffee. Powerful is, powerful is an adjective, coffee is a noun. It should sound okay. But we don't say powerful coffee, we say strong coffee. So we're finding combinations of words that naturally go well together. So then you can use them when you speak or when you're writing. So here we've got record levels. I think you already know record levels, it means the highest or most extreme levels recorded. So here is the example from the text, and here is another example that I wanted to give you all. Now, turn a blind eye is a really interesting phrase, and I believe it comes from a naval commander called Nelson, and he was blind in one eye. And his superior, the person above him, I think, someone can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think he was told to come back because there's something ahead, something dangerous ahead. And he lifted his telescope to his blind eye and said, oh no, I can't see anything. And that started the phrase, turn a blind eye. So it means to ignore something wrong or bad on purpose. For example, some people believe the police turn a blind eye to petty crimes like shoplifting. Petty means small, so small crimes. Okay. Great, so let's start reading the article then. I want to just tell you the words and phrases underlined, these are links. This link I recommend you click on here, which is a link to a video. It's a 3-minute video on the BBC News, and it's about shoplifting. It has subtitles, so I really recommend it. It's very interesting too. But yeah, so these underlined just mean they have links, and in red are the collocations. So we're going to read it first. Let's go through it slowly. So, ready? Wherever you are on the political spectrum, shoplifting has come to symbolize today's broken Britain. So spectrum is when there's a range. There's a range from left to right, right? So for example, a political spectrum, maybe on the far left, we've got communism, then socialism, then maybe liberalism. Then moving to the right, conservatism. And then far right maybe is something like fascism. So these are your political beliefs, and the spectrum ranges from left-wing ideas to right-wing beliefs or ideas. So it's saying it doesn't matter where you are on this spectrum. Shoplifting has come to symbolize, it's a sign, a signal to show today's broken Britain, why Britain is broken, right? Something's wrong with Britain. So on the left, it is an inevitable product of the cost of living crisis and poverty, fueled in part by growing levels of drug and alcohol addiction. So an inevitable product, it's a great phrase to learn. I'll write that down, learn it here, and write some sentences with it. So if you're French, maybe you already know éviter. Éviter means avoid, and in front of a word can mean not or un. So avoid, unavoidable, we could say. It's an unavoidable product or result. It's an unavoidable result of something. Here is the meaning: a result or consequence that cannot be avoided. Okay, the cost of living crisis is simply that basic goods and services are now too expensive for most people. It really is. For example, a pint of beer now in the UK is around £6, maybe £5.50 and up. When I first started drinking, one pint was £2.25. I remember it very well. Anyway, cost of living crisis. All right, so it means, so on the left, it's an unavoidable result of the cost of living crisis. You know, things are getting more expensive, and poverty, fueled in part, so caused in part by growing levels of drugs and alcohol addiction. Then we've got the right wing. So what does the right wing politics or right wing ideas say? On the right, it is a damning symptom of ineffectual policing and the general decline in respect for authority and property. So damning symptom. Be careful, we don't say damning, right? It's damning, a damning symptom. So here, if you have a look, a sign or indication of something very bad, and it usually shows serious failure, guilt, or wrongdoing. So here we've got a damning symptom of ineffectual policing. Here, a damning symptom of the current housing crisis. It's a good phrase. This is a high-level collocation, I would say. A damning symptom of ineffectual. So we already know that in means not or un, for example. So not effective or weak, we could say. Weak policing. Here, policing, police going around, you know, finding crimes and arresting people. So policing that fails to produce the desired effect. So it's often weak. So we could say, call it weak policing. Weak policing. And the general decline, the general going down of respect for authority and property. Do you have a problem with that? Are people not showing respect to authority in your country? So we have two different views on the topic. The left are saying it's because things are getting more expensive and there's a problem with poverty, drugs and alcohol addiction. Then on the right, they're saying it's due to just bad policing, you know, weak policing and a decline of respect for authority and property. Which side are you on? I'd be interested to know. And do you have this problem in your country? Please let me know in the comments. I'm very interested to know. Okay, fantastic. Let's keep going. So Nigel Farage's announcement that he was standing in the 2024 general election included the claim that in modern Britain, You can go shoplifting and nick up to 200 quid's worth of kit before anyone is even going to prosecute you. So standing in means he is competing to be a candidate in the Houses of Commons. So it means to be a candidate in an election. I believe in America they might say run for office, but we say standing in an election. You know shoplifting, but we say go shoplifting, not do shoplifting. Okay, so he says that you can nick up to. Nick up to means steal, to steal something. So you can steal up to £200 worth. Quid means pounds of kit. It just means items before anyone is even going to prosecute you. Prosecute. So prosecute by itself is not a collocation. So I gave many examples for you. For example, successfully prosecute, or prosecute for, and then noun. Or they decided not to prosecute him. So usually you prosecute someone for something. So prosecute means to officially charge someone with a crime. And then you take them to court, and then they are either fined, they have to give money, or they are sent to prison. Right, and it's true. So it means you can, and you'll see in the article that research shows that it is true that the police are turning a blind eye to shoplifting up to around, well, £200. However, while police chiefs have denied this claim, shoplifting was identified by most parties meaning political groups, as a key issue, right, a main problem for voters and businesses alike. With then policing Minister Chris Philip, then policing can mean the former policing minister, the one before. So then policing Minister Chris Philip calling it a blight on our high streets and communities. This is a great phrase. This is an advanced phrase, but I really like it. So it means something that causes damage or spoils a situation. So in the text, a blight on our high streets and communities. A blight on the neighborhood. So it's a blight on something, on noun. All right, next. Annual shoplifting offences in England and Wales went up 30% in 2024. I told you it has been increasing to a record of almost 444,000 cases logged by police. So logged here means that they've noted it. And that is only the cases, right? The times when they were caught, or they wrote it down, they logged it. I'm sure there's a lot more than this actually. So the British Retail Consortium's 2024 crime survey estimated that shoplifting now costs retailers almost £1.8 billion, a huge rise on the previous year's total. Let's just go through. So annual shoplifting offences, right? Yearly offences. A crime survey. Oh, they're down here. Crime survey, right? A study that collects data for criminal activity. And here, cost retailers, it means the money that they're losing, right? To cause financial loss. I've made some more examples here. Fraud costs the banking sector, blah, blah, blah. The economic crisis cost businesses billions in revenue. Okay, so yet a new analysis by the Times appeared to confirm Farage's critique, concluding that police officers have almost entirely ceased punishing. Ceased means to stop. They've stopped doing something. So they've stopped punishing shoplifters. Despite the number, despite, what's another phrase for despite? Even though, would be a good one, even though the number of offences. So despite the number of offences soaring to record levels. Let's just quickly look at some here, the collocations. Yeah, number of offences, number of crimes, soar, to rise dramatically. It's a good phrase to learn, especially when talking about a chart or a graph. Soaring to record levels. It has soared to record levels. I've given you some examples here. Okay, this one is really interesting. I've saved the best to last. Okay, ready? Changes in shopping layouts and technology are also key factors. More than 40% of 2,500 people answering a recent survey of UK shoppers admitted to having shoplifted. So 40% of people said that they have shoplifted. I was very surprised to learn that. I still can't believe it. With the growing prevalence of self-service checkouts identified as a key reason for their thefts. Now, I want to tell you something really important. So changes in means you make small changes in something. So for example, adjustments, right? Modifications, small changes. But if you're replacing something, here's some examples. So if you're replacing something completely, we will use change to. So there will be changes to the company's management structure, right? A replacement. You know, new people will come in. They announce changes to the dress code at work. So it means you will have to wear different clothes. Now, if you're describing how something has changed, we can use change of. A great phrase is change of heart. That is a collocation. She had a sudden change of heart about the decision. We need a change of direction in our strategy. So one more time, changes in is when we make small adjustments or modifications. Changes to is when we replace something completely. And changes of is describing how something has changed. It's difficult, I know, but I recommend to find some examples and write some examples of your own. All right. Okay, so changes in shopping layouts and technology are also key factors, right? Main points. Down here, key factor, an important element. We read that more than 40% of 2,500 people answering a recent survey, they admitted to shoplifting, with the growing prevalence of self-service checkouts. So self-service checkouts are where you pay for your goods just with a computer, right? There isn't a person there. Now, growing prevalence is a fantastic collocation. Please write it down. Write some examples. Read these examples here. So a growing prevalence, the increasing commonness or frequency of something. So something is becoming more and more frequent. So more examples, the growing prevalence of electric cars, right? There are a lot more electric cars on the road now. I don't know about where you are, but I see a lot of electric cars. The growing prevalence of online learning. So we're learning now online, aren't we? The growing prevalence is a really good phrase to learn, very high level. So the growing prevalence of self-service checkouts identified as a key reason for their thefts. Archie Norman, chairman of Marks and Spencer, that's a large shop and supermarket, they sell clothes and food, has blamed faulty self-checkouts for encouraging more affluent shoppers to think. Do we need to go through this first? Possibly. So you blame, let's quickly go through it. You blame someone for something, right? You're saying that they are responsible. Look at this in the PDF. You encourage someone to do something, like to motivate or persuade. Okay. Affluent, if you don't know, means wealthy, rich. So, he's blamed faulty self-checkouts for encouraging more affluent shoppers to think, it's not my fault, I'm owed it. One self-declared middle-class shoplifter writing anonymously, right, in secret, or without using their name, explained that I don't even see it as shoplifting. Now, I was very shocked at reading this, if I'm honest. So this is what this person said. It is so easy. I've stolen baby grows, bibs, water wipes, tins of tomatoes, the posh brands, Linwood's seed mix, organic salmon. There's never security tags like the meat. You know, the tags you put on items, and if you steal them, it goes beep, 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 beep. So that is a security tag. Sourdough crumpets, organic milk, a huge assortment of vegetables. No one ever checks the ginger. Toilet paper, butter, that has gotten so expensive, they say. The list goes on, so it continues. Using the list goes on is a good phrase too. I have to say I'm completely shocked by this. This person seems to have a very healthy diet though, don't they? Seed mix, organic salmon, organic milk, sourdough crumpets. That's very nice. I'm just shocked. Let's quickly look at the list goes on. Oh, so the list goes on. So it means that there are more examples. And here are some great examples for you to use. So just, he bought books, clothes, electronics, the list goes on. You can use it when you're speaking or in a text. So yeah, I'm gobsmacked, if you know that word. That means completely shocked. Another word is flabbergasted, when you're genuinely surprised and shocked. Do affluent people where you are steal items from shops? Do they shoplift? I'm very surprised by this. If you are interested, I have given homework which is really useful. Obviously, you can read the article yourself if you want. Doing some opinion writing can really help you. So just to answer these following questions: is shoplifting a problem in your country? What do you think are the main reasons for shoplifting where you are, where you live? And what should be done to reduce shoplifting? And if you can, try to use at least 5 collocations that we've learned in this lesson in your response. So some examples are a blight on, annual, soar to record levels, cease punishing, growing prevalence, crime survey, encourage. So I would love to see your response. You can write it in the comments, or you can just send me an email. My email is on the PDF. All right, thank you so much for watching. If you like this type of lesson, please let me know and I will do more. And I would also like to do a live stream as well to help anyone who wants to improve their English. So thank you again, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.